Hi, thank you for taking the time to view this video. This is the Mayor Report for Lansing, Kansas for April 2020. My name is Deb Wilson and I'm the Mayor of Lansing, Kansas. Since I took office in January, we've been working on various items in our city, but the COVID-19 crisis has been pretty consuming since mid-March. We've tried to communicate all the pertinent information from the state and from our county on our web pages and in other ways also. Tonight, there will be a press conference for our governor of Kansas, and she'll be updating us on the most current orders. And we won't be able to move forward on any other thing until we hear from her. But in the meantime, not everything is about the virus. I want to remind you that we hold our city council meetings on the first and the third Wednesday of each month at 7 o'clock. Since the crisis, we have been recording those via conference call and video, and we've been live streaming those so that we can meet our obligation for public meetings to the city and our citizens. We've instituted a few changes to the meeting. All supervisor reports are in writing. This is to save time in the meetings and keep the discussion to the higher level items. They're printed, and this way they can be shared outside the meeting, and the council members have a chance to review them ahead of time. And then they ask questions only on those items that they need clarification on or they want discussion on. And it has worked out pretty well for us. Another change that we've made is using our committees more. We have, I think, 6 committees, and we have 2 council members on each of those committees. And those committees can meet with the mayor or other parties, since it's like Public Works or the city clerk, or even the lawyer. But what they're doing is they're digging down into any particular item that falls under that committee, and they're doing a lot of the research outside of the city council meeting. And so by the time the city council meeting happens, these 2 people on that committee are the experts, and they can share those things that they've learned from their research, and they can make recommendations, and the council still has all the full information, and they can go as deep or as little as they need to, but it is helping keep our conversation to a higher level in the council meeting, and saves time and leaves room for other things also. Since the COVID-19 crisis, we've been meeting by video conference calls, like I mentioned, and what we've noticed is that we've had a lot of views. We've had more views on our recorded video than we usually have when we have the live meetings and the people that attend. So we think that going forward, we're going to try to videotape those city council meetings, and then we will record them and share the link to that. Those will not be live. Once we go back to the normal way of business, we'll record, but we won't be streaming live. We'll just share the link afterwards, because people will still have the opportunity to come in to City Hall and attend the city council meetings as always. We did hire a chief of police. Her name is Tina Finity, and I hope you get a chance to meet her soon. We also hired an intern, Katie Russell, and many of you have already talked to her because she's been answering the phones. And when we open up City Hall again, you'll get a chance to meet her. At the City Hall, we did lock the doors in late March, and we've done business by phone and by the drop box and by mail and telephone. This was to protect our city employees from becoming ill, and thereby making sure that we're able to serve our citizens here in our city. We're small and we're not redundant, so we needed to protect them to be able to provide you the services that you need. But the doors may be opening fairly soon. It's going to be a little while, I think. But we have some surprises for you when you're able to come into City Hall again. We modified the front counter. Kent Wade built it and Jody designed it, and we're making a few changes there, and I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. We've also moved around a lot of the workstations, and we added a coffee bar and some materials that people can take a look at, and a table where people can sit and have a discussion. One of the things that's kind of interesting is we have books by local authors there. We've started to highlight some of our talented citizens. We have a few people who've written books. Frankie Elder wrote Where Love Lives, and Denise Mitchell wrote The Naming of the River. We also have a couple books that are anthologies for compilations by our students out of the school. And we have an older one, about 100 years old, that's called A Bouquet of Wild Daisies. And that again was a compilation, but it's pretty interesting, and you can buy that on Amazon. They said that it is been selected by scholars as being culturally important as part of the knowledge base of civilization as we know it. And that is actually Lacey Citizens. So I thought that was pretty neat. We're working on with volunteers. Linda Elder and Janet Reynolds are heading up this. We're working on a Who We Are binder. That binder will have a little information for every business, every organization, our schools, our churches, our activities, our boards. This way, there's one page for each item, and they'll be categorized. And when they come in, they can open that up if it works. And once we have it completed, we hope to make copies of that binder to have wherever anyone sits: doctor's office, beauty shops, chiropractor office, anything like that, where you're sitting and waiting. We hope to be able to have that binder that tells a little bit about what Lacey has to offer. We do have a lot, but we are looking for ways to share that and to start cross-promoting, and so people will know what they have in Lacey available. As mayor, I've asked for a desk and phone and email, and that's what I've gotten. I'm sitting here at the desk right now, and I wanted to be available to our staff and to our citizens. The Public Building Commission has been tasked with looking at our City Hall and our community building to see about renovations, and also our police department area to see what changes we might be able to make and what they would recommend. And we don't know what's going to come up with that yet, but we feel like it's about time to look at the whole picture and see what we need and what the recommendations might be. I coordinated with our Lacey Historical Museum for old pictures, and if you can see behind me, there's a couple, and throughout City Hall that you'll see more. We put those on canvas, and I donated those to the City Hall. So we actually are showing a little bit about who we are when anyone comes to visit us. Going forward, having completed our water project, right now we're in the beginning stages of our sewer project, and repair of our streets is ongoing. Those are three of the biggest structural issues that we needed to address, and they were expensive and are expensive but necessary. Some of the other things we'd like to look into together are storms drainage issues, initiated studies so that as we work on our sewer and our streets, if there are things we can modify now and help the situation, we can save costs by doing it together. We don't want to keep coming back afterwards and after work is done and tearing it up again. So that's why we want to look at that. Another item that citizens have brought up is it would be nice to have a central sports authority. a central committee or commissioner to organize and provide information for children's and adult sports programs, tournaments, and other activities. We have a great park and very involved citizens, and this is a need we feel like we can work on and accommodate that need. But again, it is in the very beginning processes. Another item that we feel is important is blight, new businesses, and new homes. As we drive around town, you can see trash around some homes, overgrown weeds in ditches, and some abandoned and decrepit houses. This is blight. It affects all of us in various ways. If you live next to a home like this, you'll have trouble refinancing it. It can be a real problem, and not to mention trying to sell it. Prospective businesses will drive around, and places like that can discourage people from investing in our city. Even if there are many vacant lots around town, people are going to think twice about building a new home and getting it financed next to a derelict home. We have issued, I think, 3 stick-built housing permits in the last 10 years, and if we do not address our issues, we will not grow. Instead, we will continue to lose citizens, businesses, and revenue, and to be able to provide less and less to the citizens remaining, and it could end up to be a higher cost. It's very important to face our responsibilities and address these matters. We plan to have a city council workshop to discuss a multifaceted plan to address blight in our city soon. And as always, the public is welcome to join us. I've reached out to other cities and mayors in our community, and we'd like to work with them on doing more countywide activities. Every city may be small, but together we are powerful and we're larger together. Our Swan Fest, Blast in the Park and Grady's Kids Ride is still planned for July 11th. As soon as we're able, we need to get all hands on deck and move forward with plans to make this happen. We don't know exactly how it'll look at that point, but we should be able to have at least a portion of that by that time. Thank you for listening. My email is mayoroflacine@cityoflacine.org. My personal cell phone is 913-375-6624, and you're welcome to call me on that. If I don't answer, leave a message and I'll call back. If these video mayor reports have been valued to you, please let me know, and I'll continue to do them in the future. Thank you, and have a nice day.